Evening, everyone. Welcome welcome all, welcome our special guest. Now we would like to start off our meeting with an invocation by Reverend Carter Sinclair from Deacon Emmanuel Episcopal Church. Welcome.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Remick said I had to hold it under 30 minutes. I promise I will.
You know government very well.
Let us pray. Almighty God, send down upon those who hold office in this special city of Virginia Beach the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. Let their hearts and the hearts of the citizens of this fair city be so moved that the barriers which divide us may crumble, suspicions disappear, and goodwill blossom, so that our divisions may be healed and we live in peace through the power of your loving and life-giving Spirit. Amen.
Amen. And may I ask for a moment of silence to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice to make this nation so great. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. And do we have a roll call?
All present, Mayor, with the exception of Vice Mayor Wilson.
Okay, thank you all very much. Now we ask for the certification of the closed session.
So moved.
Do we have a second? Second. Okay, vote is open.
Mr. Shulman,
Okay,
can I
next
get your vote,
motion
please?
to approve the minutes
Mayor,
of the
I'm
informal.
here. Mayor, I'm sorry, 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
By a vote of 10-0, you've approved the, certified the closed session.
Thank you. Okay, at this point, can we have a motion to approve the minutes of the informal and formal sessions of June 20th, 2023, and the formal session of June 27th, 2023?
Second.
All right.
The vote is open.
All right, thank you.
By a vote of 10-0, you've approved the minutes as submitted.
You know, one of the privileges of being a mayor and being a part of this wonderful council is that we get to honor special people. At this point, I would respectfully request that Mayor Kayana and also his delegation come forward. And Mayor, if you can go to the podium. Bring the whole delegation up.
Mr. Mayor and honorable council members, it is a great pleasure to introduce the special guest from our sister city, Miyazaki City, Japan, Mayor Kiyoyama, and City Council Chair, Mr. Maemoto. Please remember this. In the city of Miyazaki, they have 40 city council members.
How would I like to preside over that? I don't think so.
Mr. Maemoto has a huge job to do. But anyway, let's start from Mayor Kiyoyama.
Okay, if you'd be so kind, I'm going to read a proclamation first, and then we're going to let the mayor respond. Okay? Okay, whereas in 1992, Miyazaki City, Japan, and the city of Virginia Beach officially became sister cities. And whereas since that time, the two cities have enjoyed many outstanding cultural exchange programs and have forged a friendship and deepened mutual understanding through community-wide efforts and support. And whereas in 1967, the Miyazaki Garden, an authentic Japanese garden, was dedicated at Red Wing Park. Whereas in 2012, the Azuma Maya was dedicated as part of the 20-year celebration of Virginia Beach International Sisterhood at the Miyazaki City. And whereas in 2015, a peace monument symbolizing the spiritual sonority of nature and the internal prayer for world peace, harmony, and prosperity, as evidenced by the sister city relationships between Miyazaki City and Virginia Beach, was dedicated at the Miyazaki Garden in Red Wing Park. And whereas in 2022, in commemoration of the 30th anniversary of the sister cities' relations between Miyazaki City and Virginia Beach, Mayor Kayama and Robert Dyer held a virtual mayoral conference and shared our interest in continuing the exchange ideas and strengthen the relationship in the future. Whereas the citizens of both cities benefit greatly from the wonderful opportunities provided through the efforts of the sister city programs. Therefore, I, Robert M. Dyer, along with this distinguished council in the city of Virginia Beach, hereby proclaim July 11, 2023, Miyazaki City, Japan Sister City Day. And whereas I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Virginia Beach to be fixed this day, the 11th day of July, 2023. And the entire city council would like to come down and help me present this to you. Mayor, on behalf of a grateful city to be working with you and all your distinguished delegation, accept this on behalf of the city council members.
Thank you.
Feel free to say some words, please. Okay, we'll go.
Yeah, let's please.
Go back to the ball city. Okay.
持って帰っていいのかな。
We are indeed honored.
Well, thank you, Mayor Dyer, and all the members of council. I'm the mayor of Miyazaki City, Tomonori Kiyoyama. I'm very honored to have this opportunity to address the city council today. Thank you very much. First, on behalf of Miyazaki City citizens, I'd like to sincerely congratulate Virginia Beach on its 60th anniversary. And I'm extremely happy that we are able to visit here during this anniversary year. And I'd like to give my deepest respects and appreciation to all those who have put in hard work towards the exchanges and the development for both cities. Since our two cities formed the sister city relationship, over 1,000 people have mutually visited, and there have been many exchanges in various fields, including education, culture, and volunteering. Exchanges between government officials and mutual visits between the youth of both cities have been held up until now. Through those exchanges, overcoming language and cultural barriers, a close relationship has been built. Virginia Beach and Miyazaki are both very far apart from each other, but I hope that our cooperative relationship will be further deepened, imagining a future where both cities grow together. I'd like to ask the members of the City Council for their further support. Lastly, I wish for the good health of everyone here, for the flourishing of Virginia Beach, and for exchanges between both cities to continue. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am the Miyazaki City Council Chairman Hisato Maemoto. 本日はバージニア市議会の皆様方にお会いできて大変光栄です。バージニアビーチ市の市政60周年おめでとうございます。このような記念すべき都市に訪問できたこと、そして議場でご挨拶させていただきますことを大変心から感謝申し上げます。今回このような場をいただきましたので、日本の地方議会制度を少しご紹介したいと思います。市長執行部と私たち市議会は二元代表制からなり、市長をトップとする執行機関は予算などの議案を提出し、我々議会側は議案の審議、審議議決等を行う、車の両輪のあるとよく表現されます。そして宮崎市議会は今現在40名、男性が32名、女性が8名、本当に大変活気に満ち溢れています。バージニアビーチ市と宮崎市は遥か遠く離れた地でありますけれども、両市議会ともに愛する地元をより良くしたいという強い思いに変わりはございません。今回の訪問が皆様との絆を深めるきっかけとなり、今後さらに発展することを記念いたしましてご挨拶といたします。Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, I would like to do a brief translation of his speech in English. It is a great honor to be able to meet everyone of the Virginia Beach City Council. And first, congratulations on Virginia Beach's 60th anniversary. I truly appreciate being able to visit during your anniversary year and say a few words here in Virginia Beach's City Council Assembly Room. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would like to briefly talk about the Japanese local council system. So Mayor Kiriyama and the city council members form a dual representation system. The executive branch with the mayor at the top proposes legislative bills for the budget and more, and we as the city council deliberate and vote on the bills. And our relationship, it is often said we are two halves of the whole. And currently the Miyazaki City Council has 40 members, 32 men and 8 women. And it is truly overflowing with vigor and spirit. And Virginia Beach and Miyazaki City are located far away from each other. However, we both share a strong passion for improving the home place we love. And I hope that this trip can be a chance for the bond between everyone to further deepen, and I hope that both our cities can continue to flourish. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor And honorable council members, once again, thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity for all of us to just to see you, how you are going to manage this beautiful, beloved city, Virginia Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. It was a privilege spending time with you. And, once again, in a troubled world, it's great when people show peace, unity, and harmony. Thank you. Okay, moving on to public hearings. The first one is declaration of sale of excess property at 1548 Michigan Avenue.
Mayor, we have no speakers.
Okay, moving on to number 2. Communication tower lease agreement on the city-owned property of 2068 Lansdowne Center Way.
No speakers.
Okay, and then,
I apologize. Mayor, would you read the script just
oh,
so we can follow the formalities required by this section?
okay, you
Thank you,
got it.
Mr. Ingram.
Okay, the script will be read first. I want to remind everyone that the City Council speaker policy that allows certain representatives of groups to speak for 10 minutes applies only to planning items. All other speakers, whether speaking individually or on behalf of a group, will have up to 3 minutes to speak on any single item. Speakers are reminded that comments during the formal session of the meeting must be limited to the subject of the item that is being considered by the council at the time you are called. For items placed on the consent agenda, a speaker will have up to 3 minutes to address any single item. If a speaker wishes to address multiple consent agenda items, the speaker will have a cumulative total of 6 minutes to address those items. Again, the speaker must limit his or her comments to the subject matter of the items that they've signed up to address. And finally, I call upon all speakers and all persons in the chamber to be civil in their discussion and decorum. Whatever views you hold and wish to express, the City Council wants to hear from you and to ensure that all viewpoints and all persons are respected. The best way to do this is for all of us to strive for civility and respect. Okay. Okay, and now, thank you. Open public hearing for the long-term communications lease agreement, July 11, 2023. Pursuant to the Virginia Code 15.2-1813, the Virginia Beach City Council will hold a public hearing to obtain public comment regarding a proposed communications lease agreement with T-Mobile Northeast LLC for 300 square feet of city property located at 2068 Lansdowne Center Way, Virginia Beach, Virginia, for the related rights of use for an existing city-owned light pole for ingress and egress, and to install utilities to support the communications operations. Are there any speakers?
No, sir.
Okay, at this point, I'll close that. And then finally is the acquisition by agreement or condemnation of SeaTac Neighborhood Drainage Improvement Project CIP 100600 and 100451 and 100452. Any speakers?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, in that case, we'll go ahead and close what we're doing. Are there any multiple speakers on the items?
No, sir.
Okay, at that point, can we go forward with the consent agenda? Thank you, Ms. Henley.
I will read the consent agenda today in the absence of...
Sorry, could you turn your microphone on, Councilmember Henley?
Okay, now I will read the consent agenda in the absence of the Vice Mayor. The first item on the ordinances and resolutions is pulled for comment. The second item is approved for consent agenda, which is an ordinance to amend the Bayfront Advisory Commission membership, and that's requested by Council Members Rouse, Schulman, and Taylor. The third item will be pulled for public comment. Item 4 is approved for the consent agenda. An ordinance to amend City Code Section 110 of Appendix X, F, Chesapeake Bay Preservation Area Ordinance regarding the notice of Chesapeake Bay Preservation Area variance applications. Item 5, the resolution to authorize the disposition and transfer of ownership regarding the Princess Anne County Confederate Monument to the Shenandoah Valley Battlefields Foundation. Item 6, and this will be the alternate version that we'll be approving, an ordinance to accept and appropriate $1,744,533 from the opioid settlements and the Virginia Opioid Abatement Authority to the fiscal year 2023-24 Human Services operating budget, and authorize $10,000 as a required match for the Regional Cooperative Partnership Grant, accept and appropriate a $50,000 collaborative planning grant to the fiscal year 2023-24 Human Services operating budget, and authorize 4 full-time equivalent positions regarding and implementing a collaborative plan to address the opioid epidemic. Item 7, an ordinance to accept and appropriate $649,000 from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services to the fiscal year 2023-24 Police Department operating budget regarding purchase necessary equipment to support a Marine Patrol boat, forensic equipment, and analytical services equipment. Item 8, ordinance to accept and appropriate $315,000 in fund balance from the Police, Federal, and State Seized Assets Special Revenue Fund to the fiscal year 2023-24 Police Department operating budget regarding police equipment and training. Item 9, ordinance to accept and appropriate $110,000 from the United States Department of Homeland Security to the fiscal year 2023-24 Police Department operating budget regarding the purchase of necessary equipment to support a large bomb robot. Item 10, an ordinance to accept and appropriate $37,000 from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services to the fiscal year 2023-24 Police Department operating budget regarding the purchase of equipment, travel, and training to enhance efforts to address internet crimes against children. Item 11, an ordinance to accept and appropriate $10,000 from the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Development Services to the fiscal year 2023-24 Human Services operating budget regarding staff training, staff time applicable to problem gambling or to membership in a national organization, and services related to addressing problem gambling. Item 12, an ordinance to accept and appropriate $4,845 from the Virginia Outdoors Foundation and Wetlands Watch's Coastal Resilience and Trees Fund to the fiscal year 2023-24 Parks and Recreation operating budget regarding support activities to increase the city's urban tree canopy.
Okay.
Item 13, an ordinance to accept and appropriate a $3,000 donation from the Creeds Ruritan Club to the fiscal year 2023-24 Consolidated Grant Fund operating budget regarding the restoration activities at the historic Pleasant Ridge School. And after the vote, I would like to make a few comments about that.
I open a public hearing on planning.
Items 1 and 2 will be pulled to be heard. Item 3, Sarah Long, Brixmore, GA Hilltop Plaza, LLC, for a conditional use permit regarding the tattoo parlor at 523 Hilltop Plaza Shopping Center in District 6. Item 4, Alan and Karen Bell, for a conditional use permit regarding a home occupation for retail sales at 2624 South Kings Road, and that's District 8. Item 5, Fitness Ventures LLC, Chimney Hill Center, Virginia Beach, Virginia Limited Partnership, for a conditional use permit regarding an indoor recreational facility at 799 Chimney Hill Shopping Center, and that's District 10. Item 6, Diane D. Kitts, for a conditional use permit regarding short-term rental at 303 Atlantic Avenue, Unit 1405, and that's in District 5. Item 7, Jim Lutz and Melvin Eaton, for a conditional use permit regarding short-term rental at 917 Pacific Avenue, Unit D, and that's in District 5. Item 8, James and Lori Jones for a conditional use permit regarding a short-term rental at 1722 Baltic Avenue, District 6. Item 9, an ordinance to amend the city zoning ordinance, Section 106, regarding a notice by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Item 10, an ordinance to amend the city zoning ordinance, Sections 1605 and 1609, regarding notice and permits for coastal primary sand dune applications. And item 11, an ordinance to amend the city zoning ordinance, Sections 1405 and 1409, regarding notice and permits for wetlands applications. I move approval of the consent agenda.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Henley, you have comments?
Yes. On the item regarding the $3,000 donation from the Creeds Ruritan Club to the activities to restore the historic Pleasant Ridge School, I would just like to thank the Creeds Ruritan Club for what they have done. This is a project that has long been a community project going back to 1990, when another group had a chicken dinner that raised the first funds to restore the Pleasant Ridge School. Since that time, Sheriff Frank Drew and his working group has done work on as a school. Also, Frank Lantaine, Sheriff Paul Lantaine's folks did some painting of it. And recently, we needed some more extensive work. And so we had another dinner, a barbecue dinner that the Creeds Ruritan Club so nicely put together for us to raise funds for Sheriff Ken Stoley to do the work. And because he was able to do the work for less than we had raised, we had $3,000 left over. And so this money now is going to be added to some money that our district representative at the state, Delegate Barry Knight, was able to get $25,000 to repair the roof. And so this $3,000 will be added to that to repair the roof. And this is an example of how the community has worked together all of these years to preserve this historic structure. And now that they have applied to have it on the National Register, we hope that this will be a long time reminder of a very unique relationship in that community. And I just thank all of the people who have participated, and particularly the Creeds Ruritan Club for the work that they have done and helping us out with this.
Thank you. Anybody else with a comment?
Yes, I would like to comment to do with that Pleasant Ridge, that I really value the work that Councilwoman Henley, when she approached me about trying to do what she did with the Currington and that went through, I did approach the community and the church members. And in fact, one of the members is here, she can wave her hands, but they were also able, along with the Virginia African American Culture Center, we all worked together to help with the fundraising, and we really enjoyed the barbecue. Thank you for all you're doing to help with the African American historic places like that one-room school.
Thank you very much, too.
Another example of unity and community. Anybody else? Okay, the vote is open. Consent agenda.
By a vote of 10-0, you've approved the consent agenda as read by Councilmember Henley.
Okay, we will now go to the heard ordinances and resolutions. Item number 1, resolution to establish a collective bargaining task force.
Mayor, we have two speakers. The first speaker is Sean Montero. And after Mr. Montero, we have one speaker via WebEx.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
Mayor, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Hey, city council members. So yeah, I'm here to go and stand in favor of the collective bargaining task force resolution. And I believe that the task force approach is a good one and should receive your full support. Having sat on one, or actually chaired one recently, it's a great opportunity to go and hear from the community and the stakeholders. And I know firsthand that opportunity of a group of stakeholder experts presents great things for this city. Once you pass this resolution and constitute the task force, I hope that they find a path forward to bring collective bargaining to our city and do it in a balanced way. This is an issue about dignity and respect for our city workers. It is about workforce empowerment, where problem solving occurs at the ground level. And finally, it is the opportunity to improve recruiting and retention with better job opportunities and wages. That's all. Thanks.
Hey, thanks so much.
The next speaker is via WebEx, Diana Howard. Mrs. Howard, you are unmuted and may begin. She's not responding.
Okay. I guess I think we should move forward at this point. And do we have a motion?
So moved.
Any
Second.
discussion?
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
I would like to mention, as we're putting together this task force, for people to understand it's an exploratory task force, including people to help direct us from where we're going. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. At this point, the vote is open.
By a vote of 10-0, you've approved the ordinance.
Okay, moving on to item number 3, ordinance to approve funds for the tourism, from the Tourism Investment Fund, the TIP. Fund balance to provide $50,000 to the FY 2023 and 24 Cultural Affairs operating budget and award $50,000 grant to the Lambs Foundation, raise support for the 2024 Juneteenth Festival.
The first speaker is David Leader. After Mr. Leader is Shara Sinclair.
Welcome, my friend.
Good to see you, Mayor Bobby D. Good evening, City Council. We just wanted to express our gratitude by reading a letter and also discuss our budget increase.
Good evening. Again, we're here to express our gratitude for the Virginia Beach City Council's invaluable contribution to the resounding success of Juneteenth at the Beach 2023. The event was a true celebration of freedom, unity, and African American heritage, and we are incredibly grateful for your support. We would like to highlight the overwhelmingly positive feedback we received from various stakeholders. The Virginia Beach Police Department commended the event's organization and highlighted the cooperative and peaceful atmosphere throughout the festivities. Citizens, participants, and the over 2,000 festival attendees expressed their delight at the rich cultural experiences, engaging activities, and the opportunity to come together as a community. Importantly, we are proud to share that this is our second year hosting the event, and on both occasions, we witnessed completely incident-free celebrations. Furthermore, the Lambs Foundation was able to bring on board community partnerships and sponsorships from notable organizations like the Up Center, the United Way, Sam's Club, the NAACP, the VAACC, the Vibe District, AT&T, the Art Institute, and the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement, as well as the Virginia Beach Police Department. We're grateful for the trust that these organizations have placed in us, and we look forward to continued partnerships in the future.
With the success of our Juneteenth Festival, we are preparing to embark on a partnership with the Virginia Beach Public High Schools to start a mentoring program where we will focus on mentoring high school students and preparing them for success in the real world. This will aid in building their mental health and confidence. The Lambs Foundation seeks to promote our Juneteenth Festival as an end of the school year summer incentive activity. Once the students complete the mentorship program, they will be invited to join us at the festival to learn various business administration skills, such as project management, marketing, media, stage management, and community engagement. Our community partners that will be accompanying us at the Virginia Beach High Schools include Truist Bank, United Way, the Up Center, and Pharrell Summer Camp Team Yellow. In light of the exceptional contributions we have begun to make within the city of Virginia Beach this year and last, we kindly request consideration for an increase in our budget. Our ask is for an additional $100,000, totaling $150,000. Having the full funds available available by January 1st, 2024, will be optimal to begin promotion and marketing for our event. This will equip us with the ability to enhance the Juneteenth at the Beach celebration by adding on a national act, stronger marketing, as well as more effective production and organization. Our goal is to further build the reputation of the city of Virginia Beach as a city that cherishes cultural appreciation, diverse ethnic groups, and unity in the community. We seek to make Juneteenth at the Beach the go-to destination for this rich, newly recognized celebration. The Lance Foundation looks forward to continuing to work in harmony with the Virginia Beach City Council as we work towards increasing the vibrant spirit of togetherness, resilience, and leadership for surrounding cities for years to come. Thank you for hearing us tonight.
Thank you. Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Leader, I'm sorry, is that Miss Sinclair as well? Just wanted to make sure that I didn't call you again. Is that right?
Well, we would like for her to go again if that's possible. Thank you.
That's up for the mayor to decide.
I think there was a dual presentation. You came across remarkable.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The next speaker is Alexis Gordon, and then Sean Montero.
Welcome.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Alexis Gordon. I am the marketing manager for the Lambs Foundation. I will be going over the budget for the 2023 Juneteenth at the Beach event. I will start by saying that, unfortunately, due to the fact that we didn't receive the budget until literally like a day before.
If you don't mind, if I just take a thing, we're here to vote on one particular item, for tonight. And we're certainly going to consider your, requests in the future. But, according to our speaker policy, you have to stick to what is on the item agenda. And that will be only for tonight for the additional 50,000. But once again, we will be discussing the additional budgets in the future.
So it is.
Okay, do you have any comment about the current request?
I would just, to implement what Israel was saying, just us receiving the funds earlier than what we did this year, because we received the funds literally a day before the event. So,
right. But once again, we do take Juneteenth and we do recognize it as an established holiday, and certainly you have proved your worth. But we will discuss in the additional budget, in the, if that's okay with council. Okay. Thank you.
The last speaker is Sean Montero.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, how you doing? I'm here to go ahead and speak in favor of this funding in the ordinance. Once again, thank you for considering this ordinance increasing funding for next year's Juneteenth festival. This new federal holiday is a commemoration of America's dedication to the cause of freedom. While originally celebrated within the Black community, is truly an American holiday and an opportunity to not only celebrate freedom, but our nation's call to justice for all communities at all times. Most importantly, the commemoration conducted by the Lambs Foundation provided in terms of family-friendly activities focused on health and wellness, fellowship, and community education sets a great standard for our city and for the region. Thanks.
Thanks, Sean.
Mayor, that's all the speakers.
Do we have a motion?
Yes, I motion to approve the ordinance.
Okay.
Second.
And second. Any other discussion? Yeah, Barbara?
As we discussed at our last meeting, and as I mentioned at the preliminary session today, it's not that I am not in favor of this particular event, but we're having a lot of events now, and we need this process for all of the events to go through the same procedure in requesting money from the city. One of our primary responsibilities is how we handle tax money. And I think if we're going to be allocating tax money for anything, we need to make sure that it has been vetted in a particular process that treats all applicants the same. And I just don't think the right way to do it is for them to come one at a time before the city council for a vote. This is our very first meeting in the new fiscal year. We just adopted a budget. This should have been considered as a part of that budget application. And if we're going to treat organizations which have normally had to go to the community organization grants, or events like this, which normally would go through the cultural affairs department to look at the application and so forth, we're, I don't believe, doing the job that we should be doing in making certain that we're allocating tax money in a way that is fair to everybody, and particularly to the people who paid the taxes. And so I would much prefer that we would defer this until we have come up with the process that we're going to ask all of these organizations now to follow. You know, some of our events just get but for money, others get money from tip, others get money from their general fund. If they're going to be funded by the city, it needs to be in a fashion that is the same for everybody and is has a system to make certain that everything is followed as it was supposed to be. We have to have accountability for tax money. And so I'm going to not be able to support this tonight, but I certainly am going to ask that we do follow through with developing the process that we're going to use for all of these events, which seem to be springing up like daffodils in the spring, because first thing you know, there's not going to be money for something else that we needed. And I think if we're going to allocate money, tax money, it has to be according to a process that we have adopted that is going to assure accountability and is going to assure that everyone is treated the same.
And if it's okay with council, I'd like to at least respond to Mrs. Henley, and I certainly respect her opinion. But I think one of the things what we're talking about here, and I think it's incumbent upon us as a body, when there are unique situations that deserve dialogue and consideration outside of the norm a bit. Juneteenth was recently, just a couple of years, declared a holiday nationally. And we were among the first in the city in the Commonwealth of Virginia to declare it a holiday. So once again, this is, a very much a considered holiday like 4th of July and, so many others. And the thing is, what we have here is an opportunity of community building. And having attended both of the events myself and feeling the positivity and energy. And I concur with Ms. Henley, and I think during the council, we should take it upon ourselves to talk about, criteria, because there are many wants out there. But in terms of what I feel is a true priority and would be a true community benefit, and when you come there and you see the multicultural, multiracial participation at these events and all embracing each other, and just the positivity was overwhelming. And this is what we want in the city of Virginia Beach, and I believe the Team Lamb and the Juneteenth celebration can help in that regard. Are there any other comments? Okay, yes.
I just want to say that I acknowledge also my colleague, Ms. Henley's concerns. And certainly as we move forward, it is my hope to follow up on that. And I remember hearing her comments also a couple of weeks ago on the same situation and process for gosh, it's slipping my mind now, but for the Neptune Festival. So I heard those same concerns then. I hear them now, and I think it's incumbent upon the body as we move forward to look at those circumstances, protocol, and address them. But as was mentioned, Juneteenth is a national holiday. It's an event that commemorates that national holiday. It's not just one of those events that pops up. It's certainly a federal holiday. And the city of Virginia Beach has agreed to make sure that we celebrate that holiday, and we're going further by investing in the community with the Lambs Foundation to celebrate that holiday as an inaugural event, and therefore the funds were requested to continue to do that. Certainly would like to thank the mayor for helping to get this item on the agenda to move it forward, and also Councilmember Taylor for working to coordinate this effort to make sure it went forward. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's open the vote.
The vote's open. By a vote of 9-1, you have adopted the ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to planning item number 1. Thomas A. Brown for a variance for section 4.4B and D of the subdivision regulations reconfiguration of the boundaries of 2 existing parcels located adjacent to 2892 Indian River Road, District 2.
Eddie Bourdon.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, could we combine this application with application number 2? I think
That would be okay by me if it's okay with city attorney. Okay?
do y'all need to read?
Yeah, but we'll vote on them separately, but you can speak to both.
All right, you don't need to read the second one. Okay. For the record, Eddie Bourdon, Virginia Attorney, representing Mr. Brown, who is here this evening. This application involves, it's 2 applications. One involves 4 parcels, another that involves 2 parcels that are seeking to take a total of 7 parcels that are legally existing, that were created prior to 1954 or under the AU zoning district that existed agricultural unrestricted in this part of the city back all the way up into the 60s. The intent here, as I set forth in the letter that I sent to all the council members, is to take a situation where 7 homes could be built and make it into a far better situation in every way. And I'll just summarize the conditions that were recommended on these applications at 2 different public hearings, 2 years plus apart. We've took the time to put them all together into one set of conditions that will apply to this. Since we're treating this as, in essence, one development, it'll apply to all of them rather than trying to do it piecemeal, which would probably be confusing. So, and you all have those conditions, which the staff has reviewed the wording and made sure that they're consistent with what was recommended by the Planning Commission. Plus, we've added a couple things to them. One that was requested by the neighboring homeowners in the villages at West Neck, and one that Mrs. Henley had requested actually a couple of years ago. And in talking to traffic engineering, we've come up with some language that will assure that the entrance is at least wider and hopefully at a 90-degree or much closer to a 90-degree angle than it then exists today with this platted private road. But the benefit of this, the benefits of this are a myriad. One is that the private road that was platted way back in the 40s, instead of being 15 feet wide, it'll be 25 feet wide. It'll have a pavement surface other than at the entrance where it'll be wider, and at the terminus where there'll be a cul-de-sac or a hammerhead meeting city requirements, hammerhead turnaround. It'll be 20 feet wide, and it'll meet all the state fire prevention code requirements for fire apparatus. It means it's going to be a well-paved and well-supported street. There will be a mandatory membership of all 7 property owners to maintain that private road by recorded deed restriction and agreement. There'll be dedicated public utility easement for city sewer that all of the properties, all 7, will have to connect to as a part of the development of the property. Excuse me. There will be a treed buffer on parcels 2, 3, 4, and 5 that will abut the rear of these. The rear of these lots abut multiple existing homes in the villages at West Neck. There's also a 35,732 square foot natural area that will be retained and preserved. That natural area butts on one side villages at West Neck homes, on the other side property owned by the city of Virginia Beach, actually on the other two sides. The entire plan of development will be handled under a multi-lot site plan under the stormwater management ordinance. And at the end of the day, you'll have very valuable homes and will be in a situation that will be far better than to have developed the parcels the way they were originally platted. And the variances are simply because it's on a private road, not a public right-of-way. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm not sure that
Any
anyone signed up.
questions? Barbara?
Not questions, but comments.
Okay.
Just comments. I want to just thank Mr. Burdon and his client for working through this, because they did come in as two separate applications over the past couple of years. And what this is a bad situation that's being made better. And I think you did a remarkable job at touching all the bases that were a problem by creating these, or trying to make these prior platted lots more acceptable, because it's not an increase in density, it's just changing the way that they're configured, but also agreeing to a lot of stipulations that I think are really important. We had the transmittal letter in our agenda, which listed 6 conditions. Maybe I'm looking, because there are 2 different applications in here, I'm just making sure that we've got them all together. It's this letter that you sent us today.
Yes, ma'am. But I sent a letter that,
and I want to make sure that the attorney and everybody is together on this. It's these.
it's 8 conditions.
These 8
Eddie, hold on.
conditions, as you have, not what we see here, but it's these 8 conditions in this alternative 1, number 1 exhibit, and that's what we're all looking at. Providing this 30-foot buffer around all of those existing homes in West Neck is very important to those people. Also very important, I think, is the fact that by doing this in this fashion, they're going to be doing an overall stormwater plan, whereas if it had been individually, they wouldn't have had to do that at all. I'm very happy that they've been willing to widen that access way, even though it's a private street, but now it's going to be 25 feet wide, and it's going to have the access at the end to make certain that a fire truck can turn around if necessary, and that I won't go through all of this exactly, but having it all connected to the sewer is very important. And the other thing that I think is especially important, and I think this will just have to be worked out with the site, is that the driveway into this private road is going to be able to be wider than just a simple driveway. You'll be able to use all of that area that is fronting on Indian River Road, so it's not going to be just like an entranceway to surprise everybody. I think you've done a remarkably good job of touching all the bases, and I really appreciate all the work that you've done, and your client for being willing to accept this. So if there are no further questions, I'll move approval with these conditions that have been submitted as alternative 1 exhibit.
Okay, we have a motion, and we're just going to do item 1 first, okay? And then we'll do a separate vote. Any other comment? The vote is open.
The vote is open. By a vote of 9 to 1, you approve the application.
Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and...
I'm sorry, Mayor, as revised.
As revised,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and next up for the vote will be the Thomas A. Brown for a variance in section 4.4B and D of the subdivision regulations rate configuration of boundaries of 4 existing parcels at 2888 Indian River Road, District 8. Okay, are there any other speakers on this at this point? Okay, no speakers.
Then I will just repeat the motion that I made for
God bless you.
item 1 to approve.
Okay, do we have a second? All right, no other discussion? Vote is open.
1 second. The vote is open. By
God bless
a vote of 9 to 1, you have approved this application as amended.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you. That being no other items on the agenda, Ms. Henley, if you'd be so kind to bring forward the appointments.
All right, for appointment to the Arts and Humanities Commission, Ashley McLeod. The student members appointed to the Green Ribbon Committee, Mady Guy and Callie Mitchum. The Human Rights Commission to appoint Ramona Taylor, and the Transportation District Commission appointing as the city employee representative Uros Jovanovic.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, that being said, the vote is open.
All right, by a vote of 10 to 0, you have appointed as those as read by Councilmember Henley.
Okay, at this point, any unfinished business? New business. Okay, we are adjourned into open mic.